So our final market review of 2022, so it's a good time to kind of look back at how we started the year and how we've got to this place that we're at now. So looking back at our review from January, we're talking about a frenzy in the property market where we're having over 20 buyers for each house, so very, very much a seller's market where vendors were able to select which buyer they preferred and offers coming in over the asking price. How things have changed. So here we are at the back of 2022 now, and we're transitioned very, very quickly, almost overnight, off the back of the fiscal statement in October, very much back into a buyer's market. Okay, so vendors are more prepared to take an offer. Some predictions from large institutions of property prices coming down in 2023. This is obviously well overdue because the market has been overvalued probably since COVID. Really, we've had a 20% rise in prices, and that can't go on forever. So what we're saying at the start of this year to vendors was, what we were seeing actually was vendors being reluctant to put their homes on the market for fear of selling them too quickly, so that there might be under too much pressure to go on and find a property of their own. The situation has very much changed now. So if you're thinking about putting your property on the market to sell, chances are we're going to have wider choice for properties for you to move up to, and I would recommend that if you're thinking of moving in 2023 that you get your act together between Christmas and New Year and early into January to get estate agents around to value your home with a view to putting it on the market, because you won't sell it as quickly as you would have done if you put it on the market a year ago. That said, if you are thinking about moving up the property ladder, there could be some bargains to be had. So for example, some people are saying property prices could come down 10%. So if your home is worth 200 grand, you have lost 20,000, let's say. But if you're moving up to a £300,000 property, that one has gone down by £30,000. So actually you're in front. So it's also good news for home movers if property prices do end up coming down a little bit and correcting themselves. And very good news for first-time buyers who perhaps were frozen out of the market at the start of 2022. In terms of interest rates, well, even before Liz Truss became Prime Minister, we had seen interest rates going up, and they've continued to go up right the way through the year. And we're back at if we call it the old normal, where mortgage rates were 4 or 5%. And it looks to me very much like the days of the ultra cheap money, the 0.99% fixed rates that we could have got perhaps a year ago, have gone and probably gone forever. Although it's been good to see in the last few weeks that fixed rate mortgages have started to become cheaper again. So hopefully we'll see that continue into 2023 and people will be buying houses for the comparable of the rent that they're paying, or in some cases even less. In the equity release market, things have stalled a bit towards the end of this year because of the spike in interest rates, but we very much see that market going strong in 2023 as the cost of living increases and people looking to do modifications, adaptations to their homes, and interest-only mortgages coming to the end. So we're expecting a very, very busy 2023, very different to 2022, this transition from the seller's market into a buyer's market being the biggest change. We're not expecting property prices to crash. However, you will read some of that stuff in mainstream media, but if you look at people like Zupa putting out some really good data that goes behind it, some of those property price changes are going to be regionalised. Perhaps the south might be worse affected than the north of England. So finally, and now round up to 2022, thank you to all our customers for all your business. Happy Christmas and have a great new year.